Hey everybody, welcome to the Tiny Studio. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm your girl Nell, and this is a crocheting with Nell video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I am drinking some tea today. I don't know what flavor it is, but it tastes really, really good. I'm thinking that it's maybe, let me taste it. It tastes like echinacea. So I'm believing that this is some echinacea tea and it tastes so well. Now you may say, hey Neil, how come you don't know what type of tea you're drinking, right? Well, because I had my assistant brew me up some delicious tea in my Golden Girls cup that one of my sons purchased for me. So cute. And I had another Golden Girls cup as well, but it fell here in the tiny studio and it was beyond repair. So one of my sons just purchased me another one for Mother's Day. I was very happy about that. I think that's echinacea. I think this echinacea, it tastes so good. And I have some of that delicious Florida honey going on as a sweetener. It is just so good. So what have you been doing? What have you been crocheting? What kind of projects have you, started or completed, or you're in the middle of crafting and crocheting? What have you been doing? What have I been doing in the tiny studio as far as crochet is concerned? Child, a lot. As a matter of fact, one of my finished projects happens to be this beautiful tam. And as you know, I'm a Locknista. And so, these Tams really do come in handy, especially on those days when, if you have locks like mine, they are mature and they are, as you see, they're whitening up there and they become stubborn and they just decide that, you know what? We not doing anything you want us to do today, Neil. So when those days occur, I just put the tam on. So I had a purple tam. I'm sure that you've probably seen me here in the tiny studio wearing a purple tam, but I decided that I wanted to, wear, I needed another tam. Now listen, I've crocheted other tams before, but you know what happens to my tams? As soon as I crochet them and I show them to my family, they take them. They'll say, "Oh, mom, that looks so cute," or "Oh, honey, that looks so cute. Let me try it on." They'll try it on, and then guess what happens? They keep it. And I don't complain about it. I just let them go ahead and do them. But the reason why I crocheted or started a crochet a tam project is because I had an idea of trying to get ready for the fall winter season. And as any crocheter who is a fiber artist who is also doing this as a business or treating their fiber artistry as a business like myself, then you are coming up with ideas for the fall winter season. So I was experimenting and seeing how quickly I could possibly crochet a tam and trying to gauge on how much it will cost me to get the materials necessary to crochet a tam, and trying to come up with some figures that would help me to gauge the right price for some tans such as the one that I'm wearing right now. And when it becomes August, and some of us start a little earlier than August, but around about, for me, around August, I start thinking about the things that I want to get ready to, I want to sell for the fall winter season. And one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to be selling those scarves that you see hanging there on the wall. They're beaded scarves. So I'll be using, that will be in my fall winter catalog this year. These Tams, this is one. And let's see. Here's another one, another Tam. This is a cutie. And let's see. Here's another Tam. This is kind of like a medium size Tam. And that's what I've been doing in the tiny studio, is crocheting some Tams. And this one is my favorite Tam. I think this is so cute. I used the Red Heart Super Saver yarn for this particular Tam. As you see, there's the other. I bought two skeins, so there's the other skein over here in my yarn stash. So this particular skein of yarn, I was using it on a different project. I was using it for I was making a blanket with this particular skein of yarn, but some things happened stitch wise along the way, and what happened is I had to end up frogging it. Now, I hate frogging projects, and I'm sure you dislike frogging projects as well. And sometimes it cannot be helped. You have to just frog the whole project. So I can't find my yarn winder. It's put up somewhere here in the yarns in the tiny studio. And what I usually do when I'm frogging projects, I would just, hook the yarn up to, or the project up to, my yarn winder, and then I would, as I'm frogging it, I'm winding it into a cake for future use. Well, I couldn't find my yarn winder. It's somewhere here in the tiny studio put away. I'm going to look for it tonight. But this time what I decided to do was, I said, why don't I just start working on a new project, and as I'm frogging, frog and create something new, right? And that's what I did. This was the blanket, and I still have some of it left. This is the blanket that I was working on, and as I frogged the project, as I frogged the blanket, I turned I turned it into a hat, into a tam. So, what can I say? I really dislike frogging, so I come up with new ways, to make the best out of a situation that I really, really dislike. So I think I have it around here because there was some more yarn to go. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, so here's the blanket, or what's left of it. This is what it looked like. You probably remember because there were a couple of episodes and I was working on this, and it was kind of me freeform crocheting, and I was talking a lot about freeform crocheting. And so you see there's puff stitches in there, look like half double crochet is in here, front post crochet, all of that. All of that was in this blanket. Now, where did I mess up on this blanket? Well, I'm going to tell you. I messed up in two places on this blanket. The first place that I messed up at is I added a black yarn to this project, but the yarn, it was a different texture. It wasn't all acrylic. It was, I want to say it was, do I still have it around here? I do. This was the yarn that was I used in this project. Now, even though, and I think this is, I used the size, the weight, there was a weight difference in yarns. There was a difference in weight between this yarn and this acrylic yarn. It was a weight difference, a texture difference, you know, all of that. And, you know, even though it's black, the weight was different. So it made the entire, it made the project begin to look a little not right, wonky. And I believe it also has to do with the gauge. So as I continued on with the project and I continued crocheting past the, you know, the rows that I was using this particular um, yarn in, it just didn't look right. And I knew then that I was going to have to frog this project, but I kept putting it off. I kept saying, oh, it'll look better. It'll look better. I can make this work. But in actuality, you know, I couldn't make it work. And so it just sat there for months until I said, look, I'm just going to go ahead and frog it. And that's when I got the grand idea to, while I'm frogging this, to frog this into this. And what an amazing idea. Or I think it was. So that's what I did. And I created this tam, and I'm thinking some of this came from that blanket as well. I frogged some of that blanket into this as well. This red was in that blanket, and the purple was in the blanket as well, and this plum was in there. So all of these two tams, these two tams are the product of one afghan that I was working on. Tis true, tis true. So, you know, what are you going to do? You have to know how to pivot when you have to, right? Yes. Now, it took me, I want to say maybe 5 days in total to create these two tams. As you see, one tam is larger than the other. One is medium and one is longer. So my daughter felt that this one fit her better because she has medium length locks, and of course this one fit me much better because my locks are longer, as well as this one. And wait a minute, I have another one. Oh, okay. And I have a gray tam. This is a gray one. So my daughter felt like this was too big for her. For me, this was just right because my locks are really long. They are down my back. So when I wear this tam, it fills it out. It's large. And so is this black one here. But when she wears it, because her hair is medium length, then, you know, it's too much for her. And she says she will have to grow into it. But I just wanted to know how long it would take me to crochet a tam. Let's say that I got an order for this particular black tam. How long will it take me to get the order out? So for this black tam, it took me 2 hours to crochet it. And the reason why is because I used a chunky, of course I used a chunky yarn, And then I also use a number, I think it was a number 9. Was it? Yes. I use a number 9 clover hook. So it took me about, I want to say about 2 hours to crochet this tam. And that's a good, that's a good turnabout. That's a good turnabout. It took me about, uh, I started this tam right here. I started this tam on Sunday, and then I did not pick it back up until yesterday. So this was a 2-day project, this tam. And right after I finished this tam, then I went ahead and created this one, and it took me a couple of hours to finish it. So I would say, but of course with this tam, because the yarn is not a chunky yarn, it took me 3 days. 3 days nonstop. Well, I shouldn't say nonstop because I did stop. I had to cook dinner, I gotta eat, gotta do certain things, so I did stop. But of course, it took me longer to create or to crochet these 2 tams because, of course, the yarn size was different. It wasn't a chunky yarn. So, I was sitting back and thinking about, as a fiber artist and as a businesswoman, what would be the best route to go, since I want to go ahead and I want to add tams to my, to my uh, catalog. So what I discovered is that even though this is cute, if I was to go ahead and crochet these tams, which I'm more than likely going to do with that second skein over there. I'm going to crochet into maybe two tams. I'll probably crochet the tams and put them into my catalog to sell for this upcoming fall winter season. But I'm probably also going to add this the chunky tams to the lineup as well, because it's only going to take me a couple of hours, and if someone orders it, I can whip it up and then get it out. But if someone ordered these, it will have to already be ready. I will have to already have it on hand, ready to package and go. Now, I could set it up where, I could have this on my Instagram, and just, put down what colors I have, and someone can order it, and it would take me about 2 hours to whip it up, and I can mail it just like that. But, you know, not with these. Not at all. So what I was thinking is, and let me know what your thoughts are. What I was thinking is just crocheting as many of these tams that I can, and just start selling them. And when they're out, they're out, right? When they're sold out, they're sold out. There's nothing I can do about it. So, I mean, we not that there's nothing I can do about it. It's just that when they sell out, they sell out, and I just have to crochet some more. But on the spot, ready, on the spot, something that I could just knock out, boom, 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 boom. It'll be these chunky tams. And they're made with some really good material, and I really love them. I love the way it feels on my head. And I think that would be a good a good investment, something really cool to put into my catalog for the season. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So these are the three projects that I was working on. Here's a extra large tam for those of us who have super long dreads, and then a medium tam, and then of course this cutie tam. So that's what I've been working on. you know, um, we crocheters and knitters, the fall winter season, that's our time, right? That's when we start really, doing some things. So another idea I had, I'm still working on my granny square afghans. So I have that one Afghan that is calling to me. It is the sweet potato Afghan. Do you remember brown sugar? I think it was called. No, 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 no. I need to write these names down. I think I called them sweet potatoes and brown sugar, or sweet potatoes and nutmeg. Oh no, no, no. I called it baked sweet potato. That's what I call it, a baked sweet potato. Do you remember that Afghan, the granny square Afghan I was working on? It was like orange, and there were different shades of brown in it. I want to start that up so it can be ready by October, and that's just a granny square Afghan, granny square uh, lap blanket. So I think that that would be cute and something to have ready for the fall season, for October, November. And that's what I've been basically doing, is I've been plotting and planning how my how I want my Blue Lotus Hill Designs catalog to look for the fall and for the winter. Now there's a special project that I'm doing right now on commission, and that project is a beautiful blanket, or lap blanket, chair blanket, for my husband's office. So he picked this soft, chunky yarn, and he said sometimes it gets cold in his office, so he wants to, keep cool. And I started on it, and I work on it on the weekends. I didn't work on it this weekend though, about because I was working on those Tams. But this is the blanket so far. And I need to finish it. I've been working on it on weekends, like Saturday and Sunday, when we've been watching She-Hulk and She-Hulk, rather. And whenever there's something that we're watching together, a movie, or, like I said, She Hulk, or something like that, or a television show that we're watching together, then I usually have something I'm crocheting on, or working on. And this is what I'm working on now, and this is his project. This is something that he asked me to do for him. And so I skipped this weekend because I was working on the Tams, but I'm going to get back to this very, very shortly. Maybe on Friday, I'll pick this back up and I'll start working on it again. But this is the blanket I'm working on for him. And then, like he said, show out. He said, because, hey, people in the office, they're going to see it, and they are probably going to say, hey there, where did you get that blanket? And then he said, hey, I can let them know that my wife crocheted, and she has a tiny studio, and that's what she does. So of course, when he said that, I thought that was so cute and so loving, because guess what? I already thought that. I was already there. But I appreciate it when people think about me, especially him. So that is all that I have for you today in the tiny studio. This was just to let you know what I'm up to and what I've been doing. And I hope that this encourages you to keep on moving, to keep moving forward, not to let anything stop you from doing what it is that you want to do, right? Don't let anything stop you. Just keep moving. Keep keep doing it. Keep pushing through. Cuz sometimes we allow life to get in the way and we allow people to discourage us. We allow the the things that goes on in our lives, and we'll let those things slowly push out the things that we're really passionate about. And you can't do that. You can't allow you know the things that don't matter to crowd out the things that do matter, right? That's what I think. It was something that Dr. Damon said on Married to Medicine this past week, this past episode. And he said to Contessa and to Dr. Heavenly that the thing that they had going on with each other was just all bullshit. And Contessa jumped up and she said, "It's not bullshit. It's not bullshit. It's real to me." But in the grand scheme of things, what you're doing is just bullshit. And the reason why is because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What really matters is the love that we spread and that we share among ourselves and with each other. That's what really matters. All this other stuff, that doesn't matter. And sometimes we have to, you know, remove ourselves from situations where, when we find ourselves allowing things that are really just bullshit to cloud our judgment or to keep us turned on to ridiculousness. We have to remove ourselves from it, because if you don't, you'll find yourself one day regretting, or wondering why you didn't invest time in the things that made you happy, the things that brought passion and fulfillment to your world and to your life. Sometimes we just need to sit down, sit back, and enjoy that nice echinacea tea. Sometimes we need to just look outside and look at nature and just enjoy the things that we see. Because everything else is what? Like Dr. Damon said, everything else is bullshit. And when he said that, I said to myself, no truer words have been said. It's true. I was going to do a Married to Medicine review from the last few episodes, but I think that when Dr. Heavenly's husband, Dr. Damon, said that made me think. That made me think about a lot of things, and helped me to remember and put some things in their right categories. And the category is life, the category is love, the category is family, the category is goals, the category is dreams. And if there are things that don't fit into those categories, then it's all bullshit. Straight up. Right? Distraction. I think that's why I hear people say distraction. Mm-hmm. It's true. If it doesn't fit into those categories and into those boxes, you got to get rid of it. You got to discard it because it's just a distraction. A distraction, something that's going to block you from those categories that are important in your life, truly important in your life. All right, then. I'm going to get off of here and I'm going to get back to some of the things that are important in my life. And I'm going to catch you next time. Please don't forget to hit that like button, comment if you want to continue this discussion. We can do that. And if you haven't already subscribed and this isn't your first time joining me here in the Tiny Studio, go ahead and do so, because when you subscribe, you get notifications of when I'm popping into the Tiny Studio to talk. All right, then. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm your girl, Nell, and I'll catch you next time here in the Tiny Studio. Bye bye.